I don't know why I felt like I should do a recording. Um, you have started to be like a family to me, a family member to me. So it's like to call a friend, is it, for me? I don't have any friends. So this is the way for me to like have an opening in my life to talk to someone, even if you don't answer me back. So is it like a friend that I can talk to? And the same was when I started to recording live broadcasting with walking around with my camera and did videos, and it was like you were with me. Those people that watch the videos, it's like they were with me in that time, in that situation. And one time, it was a special time. One time when I am walking around in the park and talking in a live broadcasting on Facebook, and then suddenly when I walk in a light forest, like in a park, then suddenly I come to a bench, a sofa, and it was hanging children clothes, a girl, it was pink, clothes was hanging on the sofa. It looked so very scary, and when I come home, I send that short video clip to the police and say that this is what I find, and it could have happened that it was a girl missing, a little girl missing, or killed like that, but I never got an answer about it. But like that, it can happen. It happened in my video recording. So what's happened in this podcast recording, it's the same. It can happen things, and what happened here is that spirits are coming, and you that are new in listen to my podcast, it's hard for you to understand what I'm talking about if you haven't been with me and listened to other episodes and tell you what I have going through. And it's still many things to talk to you about, you that follow me. And because I have hard to talk about my life in a whole part. I think I am like that, have always been. And there is, of course, it's something in the childhood maybe that make me to not could put together everything in once. But you have to accept it that I talking suddenly I'm going back to year 2000 or 1960, like that. And I hope you can follow me in this jumping. I have heard it sometimes before, that people have told me that you talk like jumping the whole time. And that they have told me when I have been adult. They have not talking about that when I was a child, that I couldn't speak in once a story. So maybe it's have been worse as older, and of course it's many years that I have lived, and I didn't live like that as a child, and I didn't have so much to talk about. But now I have very much to talk about, and it's hard for you that is first time listener, because when not knowing me, it seems like I'm an ordinary woman, and it's hard to understand that I am special in God, and that have many pastors, pastor, told me that I am not special for God. Everyone is special for God, they are saying, and go angry at me. But they have not known where I'm coming from. And it's I had money. I have talked about my DNA, that I now the last DNA test I did on my mother's side, I am related to the last Tsar in Russia, Romanov, and Romanov was connected to the whole Europe royals, and I had close nobles, and I was raised to could dinner with our king. I was raised like that. It was my mother, because my father was not at home. He was a heavy drinker, so he never was home. He was on the bar all the time, or working. He had a job, a full-time job as a manager for an insurance company. So we had money, but he was drinking up all the money. But we have a very beautiful home, like a castle, and my first cousin, she is married in a noble family, and she eat dinner with our king sometimes. So I was raised in that. That was those pastors that was angry at me, and they didn't even knew I was from Sweden. When I was in United States, the pastor was screaming at me that I was no one. I was like one in a big crowd of people. And I knew that I wasn't, and I go immediately. I was going sad, almost. Sometimes I was crying, but then I was thinking that they don't. The pastor, he don't know me. He don't even know that I'm from Sweden and am homeless in United States. And it's very hard to go down on the street when you next time when you were a child, you were eating dinner with a royal, with a king, and suddenly you are out on the street and have no money and don't know how to get food to eat and not have where to sleep. I didn't know anything about the so-called lower life, the life on the street. I didn't know, and I didn't know anything about drugs, and I had to live in that environment for 3.5 years, and I come home total broken in my body. I was very, very, very sick when I come back to Sweden, and immediately I go into the hospital. I was laying there in the hospital because I didn't have any blood in me. I know that the blood that I didn't have, that had been because of I had so much fear in the beginning when I started to walk homeless. I was hungry for 4 days. I had not eaten for 4 days. And outside the restaurant there was food on the plates. But before I could go and take some to eat, then it come birds and took the food that I needed to eat. So in the first 4 days in United States, when I was homeless, the first 4 days I didn't have anything to eat, and I had no money to buy any food, and I had not been inside the church, and especially not in America. I didn't know how it was in United States in the church. I didn't know how to find money, to find food, how to find food to eat, and I could hold me alive by be with some people. I was not taking any man from the street. It was black American people, African American people that took me in because they thought it was fun that the white woman was walking on the street and was not prostituted, not drug in me, and only that I walk, and I suppose they saw that I didn't know anything about the life I was forced to live. So they brought me in, and I was together with bishops, pastors, both men and women, and they didn't give me anything to eat. They wanted me to see them eat and have fancy clothes and have beautiful homes. I was like a shadow and walking into their home and sit there in a sofa and wait for them to go out again and take me with me outside. And I was in one home, pastor home, on Thanksgiving, And I sit there and they have dinner, all these black people, their families. And then when they have eaten, was full of food and it was more food to eat, then was it a young girl that asked her mother, should not Eva have something to eat on Thanksgiving? And then, what? She's sitting there and no one have given her any food to eat. And it was very, very strange in the United States, and knowing where I come from, that I come from Sweden, and people in United States, they thought that because I come from another country, that I come to United States of economic reasons, that they didn't know that Sweden is one of the most wealthy country in the world. And they thought, because they have seen on news on television the whole time about poor people in Asia, most. It was on television that this was never news from Europe, only if it was something terrible that have happened. And so they didn't know. They thought that I come to United States to earn much money, but I go away from. I was taking care of the computer system for the city, so I had money when I walk away from everything. I was a manager for the rental houses, those tenants association. I was manager there, so I have lots of money, but I had to go when God called me, when He chose me and take me out from Sweden to go to be the lowest person in the United States. I was the lowest because those people that is laying on the street doing drugs, they have people they know, they have friends, they have families if they want to go there. And many of those homeless, they have a car to sleep in. I had nothing. I didn't have $1. And I didn't have any friends like now. I didn't have any family members living in the United States. I had nothing. I have no security of the world, but I have security of God and God's kingdom. And you have to know that you are, that is first time you listen at me, that I have talking about this in other episodes, that I wanted to do like a summary for you to understand a little why God's kingdom is coming here, why I get visit from God, why I get visit from Jesus, from Mary, from all kind of spirits that is in heaven. And yeah, I know that there's many that am thinking that it was some drop in recording. I continue now, but it I have to tell you that those spirits that is coming here, they are in God's kingdom. So it is not strange or weird that once time it was the Queen Elizabeth came here, and I deleted it because I thought it was too much. But now, on knowing my DNA, I am connected to her. So all those people that is connected with me in some way, they are coming here. They take contact with me, and it can be for many 100 years ago. It doesn't matter, because in heaven there is no time. So all the people that have died, it doesn't matter what year they died, because they are in the same time, because there is only one day in heaven. So that day is for everyone. It doesn't matter if they was dead in 1400 century, or if they were dead in 1950. It doesn't matter, because they are in the same day. They have no different days. So everyone is connected with me that is coming through. And God is not connected in that way like other spirits is. But God come to me when I was on my way to make a suicide, and he didn't want me to make a suicide. Instead, he took me to be his, I call it slave, because I can't walk away from what God have in plan for me. I cannot choose. I have taken by God, and I have been set apart. That's why I don't have a family, I don't have friends, I don't have anything. I'm on my own, because the God wants me to have only connecting with the spirits, and the spirits have told me to start a podcast, because they want to reach out all over the world. So you that listen, you make a great job for God and God's kingdom if you share my episodes. I don't hide, because there is no time to hide anymore. And I have no friends, I have no family, so it doesn't matter that I telling you everything about my life. And all these people that is not with me, they are not with me. So I don't need to be hiding anything. I can tell the truth. I am not scared to tell the truth, because I can't lose anything. The only thing I can lose is my life, and I can't lose that either, because I am in God and do God's work. And I know that time, if I could do it, but I think I can't do it. If I should stop what I'm doing for God, then I think he take me home to heaven, and I am not here anymore. So in that way I need to work the whole time until God say, now it's enough, you have work enough for me, and then he take me home. So you don't know when I have like passed away, when I move forward to heaven and stay there. You don't know, because no one is going to say that. And this is not my story. It's someone here. It's very much here now. Someone that walking in front of me here. But you don't know where I passed away and stop recording. But it doesn't matter, because the recording I do for this podcast is to teach you, to tell you what they are telling me from heaven, and what God is saying, and those things to teach you. I am not here for myself. I'm here to tell you about God's kingdom. That's what is like. Jesus did the same. He was not talking about himself. It's people after he was gone. People start to make up their own mind how they should talk about Jesus. But Jesus, when he was walking, he was only talking about God's kingdom. He didn't talk about himself as God. He was talking about God's kingdom. So I do the same. And someone here, the walking here, so that's it's a body that walking here, and maybe it's this spirit that have make me start a recording. But I felt like I had to explain a little that I have not make up those people that is coming and talking. They are in God's kingdom, even if they were not the best people in the world when they lived. I have a talk in one episode I listened to today. It was the spirit was saying that to us in that episode. They say that they correct people, they help people when they're standing and wait for you when you are coming close to heaven, when you have passed away, move forward. They are waiting for you to correct you, to make you be clean. They try to clean you up, so before you go to the court, the heavenly court, so they clean you up. So those people, I must drink a little more juice. Those people that seems like, those was not good when they live here on earth. But we can't judge them. And those angels have told me that when you are coming and you have done bad things in your life, that's we all have, and they try to correct you, to clean you up, so you can pass the heavenly court. Maybe not into the golden city or where God sitting on his throne, but at least you can be on the big meadow around the the New Jerusalem. That's, you have to understand why some spirit is coming, that historical was not nice people, but they have been cleaned up. So that's not many people that's going to hell. It's very few, very few. And so it's not much of the pit. You have a big chance, even if you have done some criminal things and done drugs and are addicted today, that if you stop to do what you know is wrong in God's eyes, you have a big chance to enter into heaven. Everyone enter into heaven because they need to be in the heavenly court. But to stay in heaven, you have a big chance to stay in heaven if you start to clean you up today. And I hope you will do it. Make a decision, because you know that you have not so much more to choose. Either clean you up, or you die, and you have not wanted to be clean. You have given up, and you have killed yourself. You have made a suicide, and God doesn't like suicide. So that's up to you, what you decide to do. You can live today if you stop your addiction. And that's what this spirit is, that is walking around here. That's the spirit is telling me about this with your addiction. And addiction doesn't need to only be drinking or making drugs. You can be addicted to sex. You maybe are addicted to women and men in no healthy way, and you are full of hate, and like it's an addiction. It's because addiction is something that holds you in prison, that you can't go away from. That's addiction, and it takes much power and energy to go away from addiction. So I don't talk about, the spirit is talking now, so I talk from what I hear in the air now. That it's a man who's walking and says he have been in some addiction. He say that he have stolen cars, and he was a heavy drinker, and he know how tough it is, very tough to go away from addiction. But it's so very bad to have this rough life you have. So there is no choice. It is not really any choice. If you clean up your mind and focus on go away from what's hold you in prison. He say he doesn't look like this, but he's showing a picture that he have lots of tattoos on his arms. He's full of tattoos, and he's a very thick, not a fat man, but he is strong. He have been in much fight, he showing me. He have stolen much. He have hurt people very much. He have done so many bad things. But one day he decided himself that he should not do it anymore. He should not mistreating people and abuse people and do these bad things, steal from people that have not done anything to him. Nice people, even his mother didn't he steal from, and beat her up also. So he have been very bad, but he make up his mind. Before he died, he started to clean up, and it was, he say that he didn't come through the whole thing, but he tried very hard to clean up his life, and God saw his heart. God knew his heart. God knew that he tried very hard, not fake, not this to lie for people. You think in your poison mind that you have, you think that you are smarter than other people, and that you know everything about them, and they don't know anything what you are on your way to do to them and what you have done. You think that you are like a overcomer over everything. You are your own hero in this sick mind you have just now. But you can make up your mind to go the right way, and God will see it. God will see it, and it will not be so hard for you in the heavenly court. You think that you have given up sometimes and think that it's too late for me to could be in heaven. It's hell for me. I got into the pit. You are thinking like that, but it's because you don't know God. You don't know God's kingdom. That He is love. Maybe love in a rough way, but He is love for every of His creation. But it's up to people to make up their mind if they want to come closer to God, or if they want to go into the pit. That is not God that have done it. You have done it on yourself. And maybe you are a victim as a child, but you have had, I know you have had many times to start right in your life. There have been people that have tried to help you, and you have not wanted to help yourself. So that's what he is talking about. It's not me that talking about that, but he gave me that picture of what to say to you, and he know you, because he is a spirit. So He have seen everything what you have done. Nothing is hidden for him. Everything is coming out to the light. So what you fool is you don't fool people. You fool yourself. That's what you do. You lie to yourself. You steal from yourself. You steal your own life from yourself. So it's a very tough man here. When he showed me how tough he was when he was here on earth, and he want everyone that have lived some kind of the same life as him. And it doesn't need to be a man. You can be a woman also that do stealing things from people, be hurt people. You have been cruel to your man. So that's not only about men, it's women also. So he want me to wait a little because he want to send some healing energy to you. So that before I go, he say, before I go, I will give you this, he said, and he opened up his hand, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful what he's doing. He opened up his hand, and it is a heart he hold. And he said, it's your heart that he hold, and he will heal your heart. And the heart have connection with your brain to do, so it's cleaning up the whole system for you. That's what's beautiful. It's so beautiful. He's that big, like working hands, rough hands. And then when he opened his hand, it was a heart. You know, a heart that is in the painting. It's not a heart in the body. It's how you make a drawing of a real cute heart. That's what he had in his hand. So I thank you. Thank you for being here. And it was tough talking, but then it come a heart in the end of it. So beautiful. And I think there is many episodes you should listen at, because there is much learning about heaven and life. It's not only a warning about what will happen, but it's also this. He gave you healing, and some have coming through and give us healing. And I thank for that. And I thank God, Elohim, Yah, I am, whatever you call God, the supreme God, the only one God, the first love in our life. It should be the God that have not the body. It's a spirit God. I thank you, God, for giving us all this learning, and let people that listen to this episode get a glimpse of heaven and understand how you in heaven, what you see about our world, how we live today. And we come to know how you look at us, at the world, and you let us know what's in heaven. It's a big, 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 great school that you take us to. And I thank you, God, for giving us this mercy and giving us the love that we don't deserve. But in your love, your grace, you give it us anyway, the love for us. We don't deserve you, God, that. When I know about your love, God, I be so humble. I can't not even have my eyes open, because I know that you means love for us, but it's hard to understand it, as we are not so perfect. And God, I hear God saying that you are perfect for me, he say. And when he say that, you know, you that listen, you know if you are perfect in God's eyes, and you other that you know that this doesn't, you are not. You have to change your way to live your life, and God will hold the love to you also and give you help and protect you. So I thank you, God, for this moment, this episode. I don't really know what was talking about now, because I was in the spirit, but I thank you, God, for helping us to get this episode done. Thank you.